Alrighties guys, welcome to my second video here on the Matrix. Today I'm just going to do a very basic mob grinder. It's nothing fancy, nothing flash. A lot of people have different versions, so this is just going to be my version of it. So let's just get cracking and get straight down to it. So the basic things you'll need, command block you're not going to need, that's for a different version. So just four hoppers. You'll need 8 chests in total if you're using this in survival. That's just my way. You need the water bucket. If you're doing this up the top, I'd probably suggest 4 to make a bit of a water reservoir up the top. And I'm using, with a new woods, the dark oak with a oak wood slab. So, alright, let's get started. So, no, oh, it's gonna glitch on me, that's fine. We got that. Oh. I'm gonna need some grass to fill in that hole. Unintended side effect, however. Okay. Ooh, right, so when you're placing the hopper down, make sure that you're highlighting the box, you hold shift, and then left click. So that just makes sure that it's pointing into the chest itself, and do that for each side. So the objective of that is when the mobs die and drop, if they drop anything, it's going to drop into one of these hoppers and then go into the one of the 4 chests there. Alright, so there we put wood in each corner. Right here, so we go. I'm going to go up 2 on each corner for now. Okay, now you're going to need the slab, and you just put that along the bottom. Now eventually we will remove one of these slabs, so fortunately they still haven't fixed the experience bubbles coming out when you've killed monsters. So if you leave the slabs in there, then all the XP will stay in the grinder. Alright, so once you've got all the slabs in place, grab your block and just go across. Ooh, we don't want that one. And do the same on each side. We're going to get extra. Good-o. So basically what this enables is a little gap there for you to swing your sword or shoot your arrow, whichever you wish to use. And that's just your basic base. Now we want to go 26 high. So starting from the bottom, that's 1, 2, 3. So let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Actually, we'll go 16 for this one. Or we go the... Yeah, we'll do the 16 for this one actually. It's going to go up 16 blocks and do the same for each corner. Ooh. Don't want that one. link them across. So there's different heights you can use. 16 to 19 is probably about an average if you want to be able to kill the mobs yourself. It should enable them to have enough damage from the fall that if you don't want to really use a weapon, then you can just use your hands and still be able to, in theory, kill them. So let's bring this up, yada yada. All my admins wanting me all at once. Okay, so we've got our base at the top. Now, you want to count out 8. So using this corner block as 1, you want to go 8 out. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, you want to go just that 1 extra, because that's going to be your basis of your wall. So your 9th block, you're going up. When you come out, and do that. Now, same for this one here. Don't need to count it though, and it should just match up like such. Like so. Now you're going to do the same thing from each corner, going out 8, and use the 9th block to go up for your wall. So, yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, we clicked one more. So what have we got now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Get out one more and then up. Dum ba dum ba dum. 1, 2, 3. Boom, boom, boom. Like that. So we can move it here. Drop that down. Doobadoo, doo 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 doo. And we'll leave them because we're going to need them later anyway. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We go up on the 9th. Out. So in total we've got 4 across. So as you can see, some of the stuff that we've built on the server here. Spicy Sim's done a lot of the building. As you can see, that little thing in the far distance there, little hotel that Spicy Sim's built. Another little mansion thing that she built. My little house and another one. Spicy Sim's done quite a lot of building on the server. But anyway, back to this. So we go out again, go out the 8. I think one more. Let's see how my count is. So if you get your count wrong, when you fill in the gaps and you add your water, if it's not right, the water will flow over the edge instead of going right to the edge. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One short. 7, 8. And bit of yabba. And that's that part done. Okay, so now we want to go just underneath and we want to fill that in. And do the same at all 4. This is going to be the basis for where the water's going to go down. So, with that done, now I'm going to go right to the edge, all the way along, because in here is where your water's going to flow. Now the object of the water, as some may or may not know, is just to have the mobs fall in there and push them down into the gap here so they fall down into the hopper. Okay, now when we add the water, if we've done it right, it should only go just to the edge there. So let's see how we've done. Oh, fail. It's supposed to go to there, so obviously we're 2 blocks. Okay, so we've gone 2 blocks too far. So take that out and that there. In theory, if it works now, we'll just check it now. Should go right to the edge, like such. So, if it's too short, you'll find that the water will go over the edge and you'll have a water flow. So that's fixed that up. Obviously my counting's not too good, but that's okay. Come back over here, go underneath, and we'll fill that one in too. Now, as before, we want to do the edges. Dum, 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 dum. Now we add the water. So as mentioned before, the object of the water is just for the mobs to fall in and just push them into the centre, fall down the hole in the gap. Okay, so obviously my counting's not doing too good today. I've gone 1 too far this time. Now we should be cooking the gas. Okay. So fit this one in. Computer's not as good as she should be. Excellent. And she only goes to the edge. Alright, so we go down over here. Okay. And we've got the basics to start with. And there we have it. So the obvious is the mobs will spawn in this square here that we'll do. I'll go into the water and then push down into the center here. Fall down on top of those hoppers where you can kill them, grab the XP and the items. So now what we do is need to go just one more higher along here. Now this part is optional. Some people do go that extra one height, other people don't. It's more of a personal preference. I like to do it. If you don't, then you can just skip this part and just filling in level here along the sides. I just like to go that one bit extra higher. This seems to just a little bit more effective for the mobs actually going down into the water rather than just sitting having a bit of a picnic up in the top here. When I get a chance, I'll also, in the next video hopefully I'll do, will be a witch spawner. I'm going to talk to JL about that one. He's one of the best ideas of it I've seen. So let's go send ask JL if I can do a quick tutorial on that one. Right, so that's done that. So for the reason for that, I'll show you shortly. So, but now all you want to do is just fill it in. Like such. Then of course you fill in the gap. Sand through to all sides, and that's going to be basically your spawning floor. Okay, so we've gone too far. That's okay. Like such. Such. A little bit tedious to do, but it's a great way to get XP, especially for those good enchanted items. Alright, so that's all done. So obviously the next step is fill it all in. At the moment I've got music turned off, but as some will know, C418 has provided a lot of new music for Minecraft, which I personally think is good, because I personally got tired of the original music that was there. I didn't really think it was that crash hot, but I'm loving all this new stuff by C418. So a bit of block lag there. Yeah, unfortunately with some of this, using a texture pack called Mesa. Unfortunately, it hasn't been updated yet for 1.7. So some of the textures I've got work, others is just the standard ones from Mojang. It's good and bad. It gets a bit frustrating having the standard textures from Minecraft when everything else is using the texture pack, but them's the ropes with texture packs. I only hope that the person who makes this one updates it with all the 1.7 stuff. Sun's going down. Another mob grinder I often do, just basically for myself, is a witch spawner mob grinder. So basically I specifically summon the spawners, and instead of having a pig, I have it spawn witches. That's basically just to get a heap of the glowstone and stuff like that. Okay, so that's the floor done, which is where you want, where all the mobs will start to spawn. So now we come over to the end, and we start doing the wall and then the roof. So, 1, 2, 3, see it now. Okay, now, depending on personal preference as well, some people go too high, I go 3. The main purpose for this is to stop Enderman from spawning inside. They're the ones you don't want spawning at all. I think it's a little annoying. So that's just the basics of why you have it either 2 or 3. So depending on what you wish to do. If you haven't got the resources, then 2's going to be more than enough. So it won't affect the mob spawn rate. I'll just stop those pesky Endermen from jumping in your spawner. As they'll get flushed down as well, but because they can teleport, they'll teleport out and give you good smacking. As you can see, I've also got all the ground down there that's been cleared all lit up. So you want to make sure that where you're putting your mob spawner, all the ground around it, for, just for a little while, a little distance anyway, is lit up reasonably well. Because you don't want to be fighting your mob spawner and then getting attacked by other mobs coming in as well. So you go all the way around. fail there. That's that done. And now we just do the part of the roofing. Whoa, too fast. Yeah, it is most important that you do have this edge block in there. Even though that looks like it's sealed, you do get that little bit of light that comes through there, and you do have to have zero lighting. So if you hit F3 and you look up the top here, so if you look up here, where it's got your BL, SL and RL, basically you want that all to be zero in your mob grinder. So when you've got your roof on and you've done the bottom part, which I'll show shortly, those three values inside the spawner should have a 0. If not, then you need to find out where the light's coming from and get rid of it, because that will affect and prevent mobs from spawning properly. Right, that. Come over to the side here again. So if you want to just skip ahead, I'm just going to fill in this whole part. Ooh. That part we missed in a second. And the sun's coming back up. let's have a look here. And as you can see, 0 all the way along, which is what you want to see. That's excellent. So that's the top of it done. Let's get back out of here. So I've got to fix this, which may have just been a bug, but it's all done. Now, I'll grab some torches. Now you'll need some torches just to put along the roof here. As you want the mobs to spawn in your grinder, not on top of the roof. So just be complacent. It doesn't have to be torches. If you've done a fair bit of food mining, you've got some pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns will do. Or if you want to be on the rich side of things from the nether, you can use glowstone, which has a better light value than torches. So I prefer torches, they're simpler. You can make them from charcoal trees. Yep, yeah, that'll do. Right, yeah, so that's basically the top half done. So now we go down to the bottom, and you're going to fill in the sides here, all the way up to the top. And then, hopefully, if we're lucky, we can start seeing some mobs spawning, if we're not already. I prefer to use wood. You can use cobblestone, and there's probably a lot more abundant a resource. So it's the same principle. It doesn't matter which we use, whether it be cobblestone, stone, or wood. The design is still the same. And there we have it. One mob grinder. Now we go back down to the ground. Go up to here. I'll set the time to night. Give it a bit of time and hopefully we'll start seeing some spawnage. But that's your basics of it. That's it in a nutshell. And you just basically just wait around and wait for the mobs. It's not always going to be a lot of them. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. Depends on, when you show up here, the LC value. I might do a tutorial or something on that later, or I'll just put a link in. It's one of the guys who Doc M from the Minecraft explored what the LC values mean in terms of your mod spawnage. So, Anyway, that's it for me. That's another session done. So see you on the flip side.